Hey everybody, it's Roxabox90 here with another EDH Commander card countdown. So I know you guys have been waiting for the next guild color, and today we're going to tackle the top 10 Boros cards. We're going to follow the same criteria that you followed before. I'm trying to get the cards that fit, of course, within Boros-centric decks, but also ones that can fit into as many decks as possible running these color combinations. And as well, I'm also trying to take cards that are more niche and specific and keeping them at the beginning of the list, and then trying to open it up and making them more universal as it goes closer to number 1. So bear in mind those criteria as we go forward. Number 10 is Baelfire Liege. This card is the Boros Lord of Sense. He's 5 for a 2/4. He gives your red creatures and your white creatures each 1/1, or if they're a Boros card, they get both. Whenever you cast a red spell, it deals 3 damage to target player. Whenever you cast a white spell, you gain 3 life. Realize if you cast a spell that has red and white, you get both effects. The gaining 3 life doesn't really matter all that much, but it doesn't hurt. The 3 damage for every spell you play is kind of ridiculous, especially if you run this in a deck that a lot of aggro and red spells. This card is the stereotypical Boros-focused card. It's awesome. Number 9, we have Rise of the Hobgoblins, and this card it's hilarious, and it's a really powerful card. It's 2 for an enchantment that allows you for 1 mana. That's it. Red creatures and white creatures you control get first strike. All of them. You know how Boros Repercussion has that effect, the same effect, but only does it for itself? This does for all your creatures. First strike is important, especially if you're running a lot of token, which Boros often does run. Or even just bigger creatures. It sets yours against your opponents and you win. The fact that it gives a long-term play, because whenever it comes into play you may pay X, and if you do you get X/1/1 red and white goblin soldiers. Realize that they are hybrid creatures, so any effects that hit both, such as we just saw with the Baelfire Liege, hit both of these, so they'd be coming into play as 3/3s if you had the Baelfire Liege. They are also scaled up, so if you play this on turn 5 or turn 12 or turn 18, turn 50, it scales up, and the number of creatures you get scales up. This is really, really flexible, really nice card. Boros focused, but awesome. Number 8, we have Realist Purification. It is the Atom Bomb, basically. This is one of the few Magic cards where you have the Atom Bomb on the explosion. It's just so cool. It's like a double Atom Bomb. 6 mana to do its effect. It's each player chooses 3 permanents, sacrifices the rest. This is important because it gets rid of indestructible. You know, most things that are protected since people have to sacrifice them. And the fact is, if you're running Boros, most of the time you're running an aggressive build. And if you're the aggro deck, this spell mostly hurts control and combo players. Combo players who just set themselves up for a perfect combo, you ruin their combo. Or control players who've stabilized their resources, they have a lot of land in play, they have a lot of spells ready to go. If this card resolves, then you are the one as the aggro deck who is going to come out ahead most of the time. It's a very, very aggro-focused, Boros-focused card, and I personally love it. Number 7, we have Boros Charm. This is another card you would expect to be a little higher on the list maybe, but the weakness of it is that it's not all good. It's 2. Choose 1 and deals 4 damage to target player. This is generally irrelevant even in 1v1, so having one of the choice effects be basically useless is frustrating. If it was 2 damage to a creature or player, that would be fine because you could kill Voltron with it, but that's a bit limiting as an effect. Target creature gains double strike. This really only helps if you are running Voltron of a sense. It really doesn't do a huge amount. 2 mana. There's plenty of effects that give 2 for double strike, and sometimes they give even more than double strike. Yes, I understand there's a flexibility here, but the fact is that 2 of its abilities are fairly weak for Boros and in general. But of course, the permanents you control indestructible is absolutely insane, especially since red or red-white are the big wrath colors and often do tons of destroy effects. So this card is very effective, and that's why it's on this list. It's awesome. Number 6, we have Boros Reckoner. I know you guys were expecting to see him, and yes, here His Highness is in all his armored minotaur glory. He's Repercussion. Repercussion is an old enchantment, and it does the same effect that he has, but for just about everything you have, which is absolutely insane. But he has it on himself, which is ridiculous. And of course, you can give him first strike, which means that he's 3 for a 3/3 first strike most of the time, which is not a bad utility creature in general. The fact that he turns damage back is really important. Even more important, because lots of decks in EDH Commander that have red and white, you have cards like Blasphemous Act, which has seen play before as a combo, but here this card is absolutely insane in EDH. It's used lots of times. You also have other cards like Starstorm, things that do mass sweeping damage effects, and Boros Reckoner is there happily deflecting that damage in huge spurts back onto one opponent in 1v1 game or even in multiplayer, being a selective powerhouse. He is awesome. Number 5, we have a Ajani Vengeant. He is pretty good, but he's the divisive card because he's 4 for 3. He doesn't tap a permanent. He only prevents them from untapping, which is a different political monster because when you're playing multiplayer, tapping someone's stuff down actively makes them resent you. If they prevent them from untapping, it is a much less frustrating effect. And his -2 is a Lightning Helix, which doesn't matter all that much, although in 1v1 it can be a nice way of removing Voltron or removing utility creatures. -7 destroys all lands target player controls. This is also a highly political card. In multiplayer, you're going to be using the first ability and the last ability most commonly. 1v1, you're going to be using the first and second, but second ability most of the time. It's a very flexible card. It embodies Boros. He is the Boros Planeswalker, and he's pretty awesome. Number 4, we have the Angels, Aurelia and Jilzella. The reason being because I can't pick between them. They're both awesome. They're both really powerful Voltron commanders. They both have great evasion abilities. Aurelia gives you extra combat phase for all the creatures you control. Jilzella gives you double damage, preventing damage. They're both incredibly powerful and both very effective, both within Boros format, but also within other kinds of decks. Number 3, we have Waves of Aggression. This card is kind of like others in the format that give you an extra attack phase, but what's really nice about it is that it has Retrace. You can play this card from your graveyard by discarding a land and then paying 5 again. Very easy to come back. It's kind of like Flashback. And it's a very effective, very powerful effect that lots of decks, especially aggro decks, it doesn't have to just be Boros. It can be even Naya color decks would love this card. Number 2, we have Realist Fury. This card didn't see a lot of standard play, but it's absolutely ridiculous in EDH. Why? Because you can divide the damage among any creatures or players, so it's a very flexible wrath effect, so to speak. It's an instant speed one. It taps each creature dealt damage, so you can lock down the field, you can prevent huge creatures from overrunning you. You can even facing off. If someone's preventing your tokens from getting through, you can tap down their stuff. Players dealt damage this way can't cast non-creature spells this turn. This also prevents your opponent from doing really annoying stuff to try to stop you or to make their stuff better. It prevents your opponents from doing most everything during their turn. And if you're the aggro deck sitting across from a control player and they can't prevent Realist Fury from resolving, for whatever reason, then you control the field for the turn, which is really great against control. It stops combo unless they can somehow counter this, but if they're going through a combo that prevents combo, it is very, very powerful, very flexible, useful in a lot of decks. And number 1 is an artifact, Sonforger. I know you guys will be thinking, what is this doing at number 1? But the answer is, what makes it absolutely insane, it gives 4+0, which after huge wrath effects, huge destructions, you put this on your tokens, you put this on your commander. It's a huge power boost. But most importantly, you use its ability to search your library for a red or white instant with confirmed mana cost 4 or less and play that card without paying its mana cost. This is a really big deal because it's a card put into play for 2 mana, basically. I mean, you could say 5 mana because it's 2 and then you have to re-equip it, but even so, 2 to 5 mana for instant speed, it's a really big deal. And of course, this card works in combos, it works with Voltron, it works with tons of stuff. There's a whole slew of cards. I'll list a group of them here. There's a huge bunch of cards this card combos out and works with, and it fits into really any deck running Boros. Yes, I understand it's not the most universal of cards on this list, but it's just too powerful to go anywhere else. So that is my top 10 list for the Boros EDH Commander cards. Let me know your thoughts about this list down below in the comment section. If you like the video, tap that like button, and in your comments as well, don't forget to add the next guild color you're most interested in seeing. If you're new to the channel, check in and subscribe, and as always, Roxabox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.